Hi, welcome back to my channel for another part of sorting out the wigs. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of my makeup and then we'll move on to the wigs. I've been using this PS foundation, which is from, believe it or not, Primark. It only costs £5 and it's double matte coverage, which is very similar to Double Wear by Estee Lauder, but a lot cheaper, and it's really good. The colour I've got is called Nougat or Nugget, I'm not quite sure how, but it's just right for my pale skin. So lippy today. I've gone for a red because it matches the dress that I'm wearing, and this one is Individualist, which is again by Maybelline Lipping. I seem to have pretty much the whole collection. I've got this blush on today, which is the Sorbet Blush Healthy Mix by Bourjois, which has now been discontinued, unfortunately. So I'm keeping my eye out in case any turn up anywhere. Mascara is Essence, very cheap, but really good, and it's called Double Trouble, and it gives your lashes that sort of false lash effect without actually having to have false lashes. And my brows, as always, I've been using the P. Louise product. This brow balm here to hold the brows down, and this here in Espresso, just to give them a little bit of colour. I haven't gone overboard today because I'm going to a wedding and I need to look fairly professional because I'm actually working the wedding. I've also got this on my eyes as well, which is called Extra AF. And it's a primer, but it's actually a primer that's gold and glittery, and I've just added a little bit of this one on top from the P. Louise palette here because it's actually got red and gold in together, so it goes really well with it. But yeah, that's the makeup. So now we will move on to the wigs. My hair at the moment, as you can see, is starting to go different colours because I'm fading it out. The idea is I'm planning on changing the colour, and to do that I want to get as much of the pink out as I can so that the colour takes better. So for a while my hair is not looking great, which is really good for wearing wigs because it means that when I go to this wedding today to work, I'll be able to pop a wig on and that will make my hair look better. So let's see what we have today. This is another hair cube wig that I have. It's another brown one. I seem to have a lot of hair cube wigs. This one is a combination of two shades of brown, so it's got a lighter brown and a darker brown in it together, which I really like. I've got to admit that the fringe on this one does actually annoy me quite a bit because it tends to go in the face. But because I love the colour of the wig, I tolerate it. I think what I might do is just perhaps cut this little bit shorter here so that it doesn't stick in my eyes, because this bit I don't mind too much. It's just this bit here. So I'm probably going to just angle that with the scissors and try and chop that in a little bit without making too much of a mess of it. It does look like it could be full fringed as well if you wanted it to be. So if you wanted to cut a full fringe in, you could easily do that with it. But I like it as it is. And as I say, those two colour browns just look really nice together. The wig itself is beautiful. Hair cube wigs I find do last quite well. I don't wear them perhaps as much as someone that wears them all the time, but I do find that if you look after them, they don't really need too much else doing to them. This one was from a company called Fever Wigs, which generally do cosplay type wigs, but I really like the colour of this one. It's called the Nicole, and I think the idea is it's supposed to look a little bit like Nicole Kidman going on the colour. I can see why. It's a very sort of strawberry blonde red shade, which I really like. I think it's really pretty. The only thing I do find with it is you do have to play with the fringe a little bit to get it right. Again, it could be worn full fringe if you wanted it to, but I do think it's supposed to be sort of long curtain type bangs, given the shape of it. I probably wouldn't wear it on a daily basis because I do think it is more of a cosplay wig. You can really tell on the part. If I ever find one like this in lace front in this shade, I'll probably trade this one in for a lace front one. This was a custom made wig that I got. So an individual person makes the wigs. The cap has got a lace front to it, and it's a really good quality cap because it's self-made. It's a dark brown and you can use heat on it, but only very low heat. What I did with mine is I straightened it because it was curly and it didn't suit me at all. And I've added plaits into it as well. So mine is now more of a grungy style, which I really like. It's got these little plaits in there. This was in a plait. It looks like it's come out and turned into one of the curls that was originally there. So I will be replaiting that bit. But yeah, I just like it because it's boho-y wig. But I mean, it's got a great hairline on it. I can't really fault the hairline. And the quality of the hair is really good as well. It does actually feel like human hair, even though it's not. It's just, curly just didn't suit it at all on me. This is another Lush Wigs wig. wig. This is one of Lush Wigs' older wigs. So I believe, if I'm correct, that this is one from when they went way back and were actually called Geisha Wigs, because that was their original name. I love the colour of it. It's called Sunset. They do have a similar one on the website at the moment that I've seen. Can't remember the name of it, but it's the same sort of orange shade as this one. I was quite lucky to find this one because it was an individual seller and that it's not sold anymore. I have cut mine, I've got to be honest, because it was really long. If I wasn't wearing a red dress today, I'd probably go out in this one. Seem to be getting all the oranges today. This is another orange wig that I've got. I actually dyed this myself. It was a lot lighter in shade. It was a real ginger colour. And I used some acrylic paint to dye it. My plan was originally to dye it for someone else, but it didn't work out how they wanted. It wasn't the shade that they wanted, so I kept it. It was originally curly as well. It's now not, which, to be honest, I'm kind of glad about. It's a nice wig. Could do with a bit more of a straighten, I think, although I didn't do too bad with it. But it went a bit more wavy again when I put the dye in, because when you use acrylic dye, you have to use high temperature water, which is fine in the fact that it wouldn't melt the wig, but it did make it a bit trickier to keep it straight, so it doesn't need another straighten. But it's quite a pretty wig and I kind of like the colour. This one was from Shine. It's a very sort of light, almost platinum blonde with dark roots. The fringe was too long when I got it, so I have trimmed the fringe. I did leave the fringe a little bit longer on it, just in case. But I have also put layers through the fringe as well, so you can see the bits underneath were a little bit shorter. That was on purpose so that I could wear it more feathery, because I didn't want it to be too thick. Got another Lush Wigs here. This one is called, I don't know whether it's pronounced Mayanoka or Mayanaka, but something similar to that. And it's a wavy black one. I like the fact with this one you can sweep this over to the side and just have sort of a side fringe with that. I think that makes it look really pretty. It's sort of a, I want to say a chocolate brown. I don't think you can necessarily detect it on the camera, but there is a chocolate ready sort of hint going through that. It's a nice simple style. So again, you could use this one as an everyday wig if you wanted to. This one, I'm not actually sure where it was from. I bought it with a group of wigs off a seller. Though there is a tag in there. Let me see if I can see what it is. It says Anna Emma in it. I'm not quite sure what that is. I'm guessing that must be a wig brand. Not one that I've heard of previously. It's a short, wavy, retro type style. I think this is quite nice for if you wanted to do like a 1940s look. And you could put a band in it or something like that. There is quite a bit of permatease at the top, which makes it look short and stubbly a little. So I'm going to have to try and find a way to tame that a little bit, because it does irritate me a bit. But I am watching a video at the moment on how to get rid of permatease in wigs. So I'm hoping that will help. But the style itself I really love. I feel quite retro in this one. In case you didn't know, permatease is a technique that they use for wigs to try and make them look higher. So I think what they do is they either crimp or do something to the base to make the hair stand up. But it does mean at the crown that sometimes it's left looking stubbly almost. This is supposed to be a wig for Belle from Beauty and the Beast, the Disney one. I'm not sure what I think to it, if I'm completely honest. I don't think it's the right colour for Belle. It was only from Shine, so it's just a cheap one. The idea is that you have the wig and then you've got the clip-on ponytail. So I'll show you how that works with it. I have just taken out the bits that were clipped up because it was twisted, but it's easy enough to style into the same style she had. That's the main part of the wig. Again though, the scalp is terrible on it. And then these bits here, they twist like this, so just literally take it and twist it, and then they're pinned back like that. So these bits go back like that and get clipped in with this bit as well. And then you have this little thing here, which is like a claw clip, but it's a ponytail, and it's what they call a extension or fake ponytail or something like that. And you literally just take the claw clip, clip it on the back, you have a ponytail for your wig, and you can sit it as high or as low as you feel you need to. Belle has hers up here because you can see the bump at the top, so I would wear it up there. The wig itself is not too bad. It's just, I've always envisioned she has slightly darker hair, and also the scalp is terrible on it. So it is a costume wig, and it will probably be used for costumes. I will probably upgrade that one at some point. This is a red one I got. I got this one off an individual seller. The cap is very basic to it, but I really like the colour of the wig. And when I got it, it was a little bit too long and a little bit scraggly. So I gave it a good wash and condition to get it into better shape, which it is now. And then I also cut it a little bit shorter as well. The cap's very small though, so if you had a big head, you wouldn't really be able to do much with it. But I really love the red on this. It's very much like Little Mermaid in terms of the shade. This one was actually from Arda Wigs, and when I first got it, it had a really sort of high lion type forehead bit to it, and I really didn't like it. So what I did was I cut it so that just here that was cut off, and now when I've got my normal hair down and it's its normal brown colour, I clip it in further back so it makes like a half wig instead, just to give my hair more height. I've also got a Claudine Wolf one that I got from somewhere cheap, I can't remember where it's from, for Monster High, and sometimes I clip it in with that one to give that a better, more realistic look. I really love this one. Again, it was from an individual seller. It's got no name in it, no brand, but it's a combination of colours, which is why I really love it. You've probably gathered by now I quite like unusual looking wigs. It has got like a scalp at the front, which I really like. So it's sort of a lace front. It was a lot longer, but I cut it. And it starts off in this rich auburn and then fades into like fire yellows in the end. I really loved the wig, but it was just, again, a little bit too long. And so I cut it. And I'm glad I did, because I really love it that length. And the good thing about this length is these lighter pieces underneath, they really show off better now, whereas I don't feel like they were showing off as well before. But it isn't too bad on the hairline either. This was another Lush Wigs one. I don't know what the style is because it was a Lucky Dip wig, and I've not seen it on the website to be able to work out which one it is. Sometimes I can tell, sometimes it's just ones that didn't make it to the site and they're just sort of sample ones, but it's always nice because you get something a little bit different. And this is just a simple red bob, but I really like the flicky fringe on it. It's really good style and easy to wear one. So that's that one. This one is another hair cube wig. I've got it down as an ash brown into blonde long wavy. I try and put something on the bags so that I can recognise which wig's which without having to get them all out. That way when I'm getting ready it's a lot quicker. I did cut a fringe into this one because I wasn't loving the really long fringe on it, and I'd already got one with just the bangs here either side, and so I wanted one that had a fringe as well, so I cut it in, and I think it turned out pretty well. I quite like the fringe in this one. I like it, it's glamorous. This is one that you wear and you just feel pretty in. I believe this is another hair cube wig as well. It's a bit like the other one that I've got. I've shown you one like this before, but with this one it's got like a side fringe. I think the other one had a full fringe on it. It can be worn as a full fringe. It is short enough to do that if I wanted to, but I prefer to just have it like that. It's like a beachy style and just a nice simple blonde. This is one of the few headband wigs that I've got. I think I only have 2 remaining now. I don't personally think the headband wigs really suit me, so I'm slowly swapping them for ones that are similar styles without the headband. So this one will probably be going in the pile to get rid of. The only reason I've kept it is because I think it might be good for Wonder Woman. If I do a Wonder Woman cosplay with the highness, and then I can put the headband that she wears over the top of it. So if I can find a Wonder Woman headband, it would be great for that. So this one I probably will keep for that purpose if I don't sell it, but it is more of a cosplay wig. You could get away with wearing it normally, but I don't like them. It just makes me look like I've got a really big forehead. I've tried dressing them up with different pretty bands and they just never look right on me. This one is from Hey Space Milk, and I believe it's called Candy Apple or Toffee Apple, I can't remember which. But it's basically brown rooted with green in it. It's a really, really nice wig. I love the unusual colours. You can see that I haven't trimmed the fringe on it yet. It does need trimming. I've not done it because I was trying to decide whether I was just going to wear it to the side or whether I was actually going to cut the fringe in. But I think looking at it, it's probably going to be better with the fringe cut into it. I think it'll suit the wig better. This is possibly a hair cube wig. That's a really pretty one. It's got really nice balayage of blondes with the darker fringe. I do remember now, I got this from a lady that had started a company. It was quite expensive for a wig. No, I won't say that because that just sounds mean. So I really love the waves on this one. This is another one that I always feel quite glamorous when I wear. In fact, I'm quite tempted to wear this today. Not sure where this one came from. It's a long ginger wig. I think I got it from my friend Sarah. I'm not sure. It's kind of like a chestnut, I'd say. In some lights it looks brown, but in some lights it looks more orange, depending. But it's a really pretty easy wig to wear. I think I love the length on this one, even though it is a little bit longer to what I would usually wear them. I usually only wear them about there, but I haven't interfered with this one because I like it. It's just nice to pop on and go with. So I've left that as it is. This is another Lush Wigs here, blue again, and this one is called Grunge. It was one of the styles that when I went through the website, I highlighted pretty much all the styles I wanted to buy, and slowly over time I've managed to get pretty much all of them, I think. It's like a duck egg blue, I think is how you describe it. It's got a really long grungy fringe, which it's meant to have. That's the style. And it is meant to be that sort of long emo-y kind of layers to it. Another Lush Wigs. This one is Spring Break. This was another one of the ones that I said I wanted. Someone has had this before me and they sewn in an extra clip to it at the back, which is great because it holds it a bit more secure. It looks like they've sewn one in the front as well. Obviously somebody that didn't want to lose it when they were wearing it. But I love this one. It's kind of poofy, but I like it poofy. And it's sort of curly, but messy curly. Don't really know how you describe it, but it is nice. It's just like a collegey, studenty type wig. And it's a mixture of yellows and oranges, which is really pretty. Just going to show you one more today. This is a blonde one that I've got. It has got roots, but I'm not sure if a person has actually added the roots into this one or not, because they don't look like they belong there to me. So I think somebody has actually put them in themselves. It's not lace front, so it is very much a cosplay wig. I do like this one though. It reminds me a little bit of Reese Witherspoon in My Sweet Home Alabama. That's how she had her hair, like all flicky, and that's what I really like about it. And I do actually quite like the darker roots, so if they do wash out next time I wash it, because a lot of colour did come out when I first washed it, which made me think that perhaps it is a root spray, I will put it back in because I do quite like it. I may even get a little bit of dye and deliberately dye it darker. But yeah, that's quite a cute little wig as well. I hope you've enjoyed another edition of wearing wigs and having a look at my collection. I will be back with another part soon, and so if you could like and subscribe, that would be fantastic. Any comments that you think about the wigs, I'd love to hear, so always let me know. My inbox is always open, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Goodbye.